Hello everybody, my name is Wyatt and welcome back to another video of Apple of the Dead. This is episode 3, and in the last episode, I don't even remember what choice I selected. Wait, actually I think it was either Twilight should trust her instincts to go to the library. Yeah, okay. It was either that or we could just spawn a Trixie at the cart. I think, in my opinion, we should go with Twilight's instincts to be safer. If I'm correct, Mecha, would you put the clip of what my decision was? If I even made one? This is hard, but I feel like if there's anything to just be safer, I would say we need to hide in the library. Oh, this is tough, but I feel like I'd rather Twilight trust her own instincts and hide in the library. But I'm just gonna say I think Twilight should trust her own instincts and hide in the library, so that way maybe they can be safer and be closer to the wagon, so maybe they have more of a successful rate. Thank you, Editor Mecha. You're the greatest. And again, I still have my Never Ending Nightmare shirt, but be sure to check out the original video, link in the description below, and be sure to check out Lost Channel, link will also be in the description below. Alright, let's do this in 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Welcome back to Apple of the Dead. In the last episode, Twilight volunteered to go on a mission to Ponyville, much to Trixie and Rainbow Dash's chagrin. Once the cadets reached Ponyville, they were immediately attacked by the Ends, a horrible end-stage version of the infected who kill without mercy. Despite their best efforts, Thunderlane succumbed to his injuries, and Pony Joe was bitten. Trixie and Twilight had just enough magic to fight off the attackers and get away, but their power was waning. Twilight was presented with 2 options to move the story forward, and you, the viewers and voters, chose to trust Twilight's instincts and hide in Golden Oak's library.
Yeah.
Did you choose wisely? Let's find out.
Fucking lost, you grizzled bitch. I'm sorry. Never gonna offend Lost.
I don't know what's wrong with me.
Oh, here we go.
I keep getting these cravings that I can't control.
Being here
in this. Damn it. Why can't I remember what this place is called?
I'm just
There's a
reading. I'm
lot of
trying to read
books.
along with it.
I just want to remember things better. Like yesterday. Some old pony with part of his jaw hanging off came over to me. He looked at me funny, but I kept my eyes on him. I wasn't sure what to do, but every time I tried to talk, it's just wrong. I know I can talk. I've done it my whole life, and I can even feel the words. They're stuck in my throat, but I can't get them out. But something did come out, though. It didn't sound natural at all. It sounded like a dying groan that an animal makes right before they take their last breath.
She's a
Just
zombie.
guttural. That old pony made the same sound back. Does that mean he understands me? He didn't attack or anything. He just shuffled on back into the darkness.
Holy shit. Wait, so did Applejack still have, like, her mind at the time?
My mind was made up, and a bright flash of magic later, Trixie and I found ourselves in the potential safety of what was once my home in Ponyville.
Damn it, Twilight, you still couldn't trust me? After everything we've been through and everything I've done for you?
Be
I
quiet,
winced, bracing myself for more anger, panic, and exasperation. But it doesn't come. I let a few moments pass by before I warily open one eye. I see Trixie with a forlorn expression, looking out the window next to the library door where we had magically appeared. I match her gaze and can see the chaos that was ensuing outside. Both the wagon where we had been hiding and her own wagon were now completely covered with infected ponies and even some of the Ends. I swallow back a lump of bile in my throat as I recognize some of the faces of the creatures sniffing around for us, their intended prey.
It probably wouldn't have worked anyway.
Trixie's sudden tonal shift startles me a little.
It was a stupid idea. I never even got to use it, so how would I know if it worked?
What is it? What's in your wagon?
Something I'd acquired to show you up magically, actually. Right before the world went to shit. Hell, I'd even made it to Ponyville all high and mighty and ready to call you out.
With you, cursing Trixie. Like, my God, I am such a valley girl, and I'm going to fuck this shit up. That's Mag, right? Hang on, can I Can I, for real quick, just give me a minute, guys. Mag, yes. Yes. Of course it was Mag. Because who wouldn't be Trixie? Obviously Mag.
But that's all in the past now, huh? None of it matters.
I'm sorry.
Oh.
I know you wanted me to trust you, and it's not that I don't. I just figured we could teleport to your wagon later when that area wasn't so dangerous. I risked our lives on a hunch, and I'm so sorry.
It was a good hunch.
Yeah.
Trixie ignites her horn with a soft light and outstretches her hoof towards the interior of the library. The light it offered was very dim, indicating how magically exhausted she really was. To help, I do the same, so we can both adequately scan our surroundings. Even so, just a light spell was giving me a headache and making me feel woozy. Magic can only go on for so long after all. Ignoring my pain, I observed bookshelves in disarray, books and parchments scattered about in tatters on the ground, broken glass lanterns and spent wax candles. But what I didn't see were any signs of infected ponies. No blood, no remains, nothing.
So it's clean.
Do you think they couldn't get in, so they just ignored this place? I mean, I know you didn't leave it like this, but it doesn't look like stomping grounds for the infected or the Ends.
Maybe there were other survivors who came here looking for some kind of spell book that would help?
A book that the Twilight Sparkle didn't find in her, presumably, 100th time panic reading for answers.
I would have never stopped looking if Princess Luna hadn't mandated a retreat. I tried to take some books with me, but they just weighed me down. If I hadn't been so stupid and naive, then maybe I wouldn't have gone separated from Spike when...
Shh!
What?
Shh!
Trixie clasps a hoof over my mouth and doses her horn light, so I do the same. We stay in this silence for what feels like minutes on end. I strain to listen to whatever Trixie must have heard that I had missed.
Wait, is Applejack in there?
Though sunlight
No
was
way.
sparse
Oh,
in the
God.
library, I could still see most objects in close proximity. My eyes wander in panic, scanning for danger, when they fell upon different piles of torn and crumpled parchment and book pages. It finally dawns on me that these piles weren't haphazardly placed. They were strategic. Most of the piles were under windows, near the base of the stairs leading to my old room, in the doorway towards the kitchen, and lining walkways between bookshelves. Any approaching pony foolish enough to crunch a wad of parchment under hoof would make a noise. Though rudimentary, it was still a decently set alarm for any pony or creature nearby. Trixie must have heard some pony else in the library with us.
When I give the signal, we're going to run towards that door. I heard the noise coming from up
Oh my God!
I scream out in shock and panic.
Wait, back it
coming
up.
from up.
That is so, my God.
I scream out in shock and panic when Trixie is ambushed by an unknown assailant from the top of the staircase.
It's
I see a
Applejack.
faint outline of their bodies rolling into one another outside of the purview of sunlight. Trixie's unicorn light ignites to separate the two of them and get away, but the magic is extinguished almost immediately and is followed by an unholy outcry of pain. A shadowy figure has lashed onto Trixie's head and horn, and I can hear their teeth ripping into her flesh. I try to ignite my horn, but my magic hiccups. As I had feared, I was magically spent and therefore useless.
Twilight, run!
I raced up the steps of the library, trying not to let my legs buckle from the stress and horror of what I was hearing. I didn't even know if this was an infected or one of the Ends. Once I reached the top of the steps, I could see the old wooden table I once used as the desk still sitting undisturbed in the corner of the room. I raced for it, dragging it from its place and propping it up against the door frame of the stairs I had just ascended. I forced myself to quiet my sobbing as much as possible so as not to draw too much attention to myself. I propped myself up against the table and hoped the thick mahogany is enough to protect me from the infected on the other side. After a short while, all the sound in the library dissipates, and I'm left in a terrifying silence. I can feel my heart pounding in my chest and the fearful shake in my hooves as I continue to press myself against the table. I need to keep as quiet as possible so that I will be able to hear the assailant climb the stairs.
It's fucking Applejack.
The longer it takes for the infected to find me, the more time I have to scan my surroundings. Although I appear to be safe, I know there may be other creatures still lurking in the shadows. When I am certain I'm alone, I process the sight of the chaos of the room. I spy quills and empty ink pots surrounding a strange massive ring of crumpled parchment. It vaguely reminds me of a pony-sized nest. Bookshelves and furniture are in tatters, including my old bed, which appear to be crushed in pieces near a boarded-up window. Nothing I am seeing felt particularly important or out of the ordinary until I spy a small stack of books near the nest. These books looked a little different from the rest of the ruined tomes of the library. I could see different colored and textured pages sticking out awkwardly from the book spines that were being repurposed to hold the mismatching parchments together. The strange amalgamation of pages and covers were almost identical to the journals I had been studying in the compound. It can't be. It just can't. Before I can contemplate retrieving said journals, I hear the unmistakable sound of hoofsteps on the staircase. As I await my gruesome fate, images of ponies in places long past cycle through my mind with every hoofstep. I shed silent tears for my friends, for my mentor, and for my mare friend, who was undoubtedly deceased only a few feet below me. I weep for what could have been, and what will never be. I weep for the lives sacrificed, and the foolishness of my own decisions that had led me to this point. I weep until the attackers on the other side of this table bear I haphazardly created. I can hear my adversary's hooves clumsily touching the wood of the table, as if in confusion of why it was there. The confusion didn't last too long, however, as the hooves began to beat at the mahogany aggressively. I can hear a strange guttural sound along with each new pummel against the table. When the wood starts to fracture,
It's
I
Applejack.
hear movement
We all
again,
know it.
like the pony is repositioning themselves.
Oh my god.
It's followed by a buck so powerful and loud that the table splinters into innumerable pieces around me.
God.
I scream, colliding hard into the adjacent wall. Through searing pain, I push myself up against the wall and blink through cascades of tears to see who I would come face to face with here at the end. I'm not entirely convinced that my mind isn't just playing tricks on me, as I behold the very pony I had made this trip for in the first place. Applejack! I can see the orange of her coat, although it is muted in color and marred with cuts, scrapes, and old wounds that don't appear to be healing. I see the 3 apples of her cutie mark sagging from misshapen fur on her flank, as if holding on to their last thread of flesh before peeling off entirely. I see clumps of mane and tail gathered loosely with old stained elastic, frizzy and dirty, but still blonde beneath it all. I observe an absence of green from her whitish-gray milky eyes, which are staring unblinking from the deep-set darkened eye sockets. I see bone and tissue peeking from open, oozing sores around her ears, nose, mouth, and cheeks, which are currently saturated in the remnants of Trixie's dark red blood. Yet the rest of her couldn't convince me of her identity. It was made certain by that tattered, dirty, and falling apart Stetson hat somehow still set in place atop her head. Applejack? Is it really? Applejack suddenly comes towards me, unfazed by my question or overall demeanor of fear. I'm too stunned to scream, and within moments she's mere inches from me.
That's cute.
I inhale a whiff of the viscera around her mouth and gag. The scent is vile on its own, but the rod of Applejack only amplifies its stench. I squeeze my eyes shut, waiting for the end Rainbow Dash predicted I'd face all along, but it never comes. Instead, I feel cold breath sniffing various parts of me like a dog trying to identify another dog. Her snout is rubbing against the fur of my cheeks, staining me in the process. I'm still shaking,
How
but
is she
otherwise
not-
remain still
What the
as
fuck?
Applejack
Wait,
looms
hold
over
on,
me.
bro.
She tilts her head to the side like she's confused, and her hat dislodges from her head. It lands between us and the ground, but she appears unfazed. She's just staring at me, but somehow staring through me at the same time. Applejack, do you know me? Applejack, can you... I try to get to my hooves, but I audibly wince and fall back when I attempt to put weight on my front left hoof. I glance down at it and can see the bone jutting in the wrong direction. The buck that had sent me soaring across the room had done more damage than I had realized. Applejack still seems confused, but is not advancing on me, so I attempt to make a temporary sling. Cradling my left hoof to my chest, I awkwardly try to secure the rope I'd packed back at the compound with my free hoof and mouth. Applejack watches. Her only movement comes from slight swaying on her hooves, as if it's difficult to find balance. After a few clumsy minutes without success, I see AJ's hoof reach out to hold part of the rope in place so that I can finish tying a knot. Thank you, Applejack.
Loss is groaning.
I keep saying her name, hoping she recognizes it in some...
It's the vector. It's cute. I find it so adorable. This is, oh my god. Like that was horrifying. The Trixie just got killed. But wait, why is Applejack not attacking Twilight? What's happening? I guess she recognizes her.
But she doesn't react.
What about the hat?
I'm your friend, Twilight Sparkle. Do you remember me, AJ?
She's trying to speak, but it won't work.
You used to call me Twi? I feel a pang in my heart when I mention my nickname, first given to me by Applejack so long ago, and adopted by most of my friends since. You've been writing in journals, haven't you? Are you looking for some pony, or someplace safe? I reach for one of the journals in the stack I'd seen near the strange paper nest. Are you writing in this so some pony can find you? I struggle to open it with one hoof and no magic. Eventually, I pry it apart to see this one unfortunately saturated with some strange combination of ink and grime, rendering it completely indecipherable. Okay, not this one per se, but others just like these? I scoop the other 3 journals into my good hoof and hold them up to her, hoping she'd recognize them. It's how I found you! It's why I came here looking! I was looking for you, Applejack! I cut my sentence short when I hear the sound of glass shattering coming from downstairs, followed by grunts and moans.
Oh no.
I quickly deduce that the smell of Trixie's remains has attracted other infected, and I'm no longer safe. Not that I was entirely safe to begin with. Quickly, I stashed the 3 journals in my hooves into my saddlebag, knowing that regardless of my current state, I would likely have to start running again soon. Though I couldn't be sure, I would have sworn I saw semblance of panic on her marred face. She staggers towards me, her head and limbs swaying like a foal trying to learn to walk for the first time. As the noises below us get louder, Applejack closes the distance between us. She accidentally crushes part of her hat under hoof, which gives her pause. Painstakingly slowly, Applejack leans down to grasp the rim in her mouth before bringing the hat up to rest on my head.
She's giving it.
I'm not sure what the gesture means, but I don't question it. I hardly have a moment to even ponder on it before Applejack's head is suddenly at my back, pressing into me to stand on my good 3 legs. The push is so strong and sudden that I almost fall over. A few panicked hoof steps later and I am upright, but the sound I make to get to this position is a dead giveaway. I stand still, frozen in fear at the sounds of multiple infected ponies below us, but Applejack pushes me from behind again. I stumble forward, walking down a few steps and into plain sight. Tears immediately spring to my eyes, and I see 4 gathered infected, crowded around a bloody mound. They turn their heads towards myself and Applejack, who is still forcing me down the steps. I move unwillingly, but keep my eyes on all of theirs. It's difficult to make out details of who these ponies used to be in limited lighting. Even so, I'm almost positive I see the larger 2 infected wearing matching blood and dirt-encrusted aprons. The taller, thinner infected takes a step towards me, and I can see the outline of what used to be a bow tie, not unlike the one I'd seen on Mr. Cake.
Even the bees.
The pony wearing it, presumably Mr. Cake himself, takes a step towards me and opens his mouth to snarl. I whimper for a moment, but Applejack shoves me to the side and puts herself between us. There's a strange unspoken standoff between Applejack and Mr. Cake as the other ponies rally around them. The other larger set infected is joined by 2 much smaller ones, barely sizable enough to be considered a foal.
Oh my god,
my
Trixie!
heart hangs as I realize these are indeed the ponies of the Cake family. Applejack then starts to sniff the air aggressively, which slowly prompts the cakes to do the same. They lift their snouts and inhale the scent of the room. One of the twins stumbles towards me, sniffing fervently as they do. I remain unmoving as they look up at me with wide, milky eyes. After an uncomfortable beat of silence, they turn back around to join their family non-aggressively. Then the pair of twins turn away from the mounting tension in the room. I can hear them fighting over some part of Trixie that I don't care to identify. One by one, the cakes pull away from Applejack and myself and dig into the meal so readily available at their hooves. I'm still blinking back tears as Applejack pushes me outside the library with her snout.
Oh, but Applejack
Once I'm in the open air
Trixie,
again,
though.
I can take a clean breath. But that was the only reprieve I felt as I realized that Ponyville was just as infested as we survivors had feared. Swarms of infected were bumbling around the streets of Ponyville, wandering aimlessly with no apparent direction. I couldn't see any of the ends around and wondered if the majority of the infected didn't like them either. Could the infected be fearful of their future selves? Applejack started to push me again, but I was far less resistant this time. I'm stuck in a mental state of shock and awe by the fact that no other infected appears to acknowledge the presence of a survivor in their midst. After a few minutes of slow, deliberate steps, it is clear that Applejack is leading me somewhere purposefully. Considering that I'm out of options, I acquiesce. We continue this way for a time until I can see the outline of Ponyville General come into view. I steal a glance at my hoof and my makeshift sling and chance a small smile. The hospital will have plenty of supplies at my disposal to tend to my broken bone and various other wounds. I take a step out of Applejack's intended path and she grunts at me.
Oh my god.
She steers me back on course, but I'm no longer entirely compliant. I realize as we approach the hospital, only to then pass it by, that I have another choice to make. Do I deviate from Applejack's path and run for the hospital, or do I continue onward? I truly do need the medical supplies to set this bone properly, but I certainly don't want to upset the only infected I've ever met that is trying to help a survivor. Would she follow me into the hospital? Does she even know where she's going, being as mentally degraded as she is in this state?
Ooh.
What should I choose?
That's a good choice.
And now we have come to another crossroads. Twilight is in need of medical supplies, but it may come with dangerous consequences. Does Twilight continue on with Applejack to the unknown destination of Applejack's choosing, or deviate from Applejack's path and go to the hospital to fix her broken bone? In the last 20 seconds of this video, there will be two options that you can click. You must click that selected video to cast your vote. In addition, there will be a community post you can vote on as well. But remember, you only have 72 hours from the time this video is posted to cast your vote. So, don't waste this opportunity to help weave this tale with me.
So we either go to the hospital or we continue on with Applejack? That's tough. That's a tough choice. Again, because, I mean, we originally came to get the medical supplies. And Twilight could use it to fix her hoof, but, I mean, that is true. Like, we don't really want to, like, deviate from Applejack and piss her off. Should we continue onward, I guess? Let Applejack guide us to where we need to go? I wonder if Applejack is just pushing her out to get out of Ponyville. To just, like, go back home. I don't know. Ugh. I would say maybe we need to continue with Applejack, so that way we don't, like, piss her off, but I wouldn't know. I'll have to find out when episode 4 ever comes out, and just letting you guys know during the time of this recording. It's been 7 months since Apple of the Dead episode 3 came out, so I can't vote, and I can't see what people have voted for, because I would totally go vote, but for sure, when the next episode comes out, I will be reacting to it. So thank you, everybody, so much for watching. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit the bell to be notified. Be sure to comment down below your thoughts and suggestions. Be sure to check out my awesome editor, Mechanical Nightmare Fox. Be sure to check out TheLostNarrator. Be sure to check out the original video, link in the description below. And as always, I will see all of you in the next video. Bye-bye.